Hey everyone, so the Senate results have come out today here in Australia, and if you're a freedom-minded person like myself, you're probably feeling a bit down, and you've probably been feeling down since the election because the result was just overwhelmingly against us. And unfortunately, fortunately, Malcolm Roberts is re-elected, which I'm really excited about. That's great news. But the bad news is that no one else got in. Literally no one from any of the minor parties or even good independents got in, and that is really obviously demoralising. I know lots of people that spent months and months, maybe even up to a year campaigning, and this is a big blow. And I remember feeling the same way in the 2022 election, and now it's 2025 and the same thing has happened. Something that is different this election though is, I don't know if you're feeling the same way, but I'm pretty much done losing. Like, it has hit me like a ton of bricks that the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. And I can see things so clearly now. And the basis of that is that what we're doing isn't working. Okay? It doesn't matter what your opinion is of what would work. The fact is, the last two elections have been a miserable failure for all freedom minor parties, basically, okay? So let's accept that, but what's different about this time is that we're gonna learn from it this time. Something that I think has stopped people like me and you from being able to succeed in politics is that we really struggle because our morals are so important to us, and you know they're inbuilt in us through childhood or through religion, that sometimes when a party or a person who we used to follow doesn't agree with one of our really hard moral stances, we tend to not want to work with them at all. And actually that's really hurting the freedom minor parties and the conservative right, if you would like to say that, because the left, they agree on everything because everything they agree on is modern, it's new, it's not really inbuilt in them through religion or through upbringing like it is for us. So that's a huge issue. The other one is that the big personalities in the freedom minor parties are not working together. And I've seen recently online a lot of infighting, and it doesn't look like they're going to work together anytime soon. And I've been very outspoken about this because, like I said, I've just been hit like a ton of bricks and realized that I'm not staying quiet anymore on the things that don't work. I used to be afraid of what some of these people might think of me if I said what I thought about their strategies not working, but I just don't care anymore. I care about us winning once in a bloomin' while, you know what I mean? And so I'm gonna say it the way that it is. There are 4 or 5 parties that need to shut down. They just need to shut down. It's silly. I mean, if success equals seats in Parliament, they keep losing. I mean, up to 20 years, some of these parties have been going for 20 years and they've had maybe 1 senator and 2 lower house people in the entire 20 years. Like, what are you actually doing? I can't answer that question because to me, it doesn't make sense. If I kept failing year on year, I would accept that it was a learning curve and I would move on to something that I could be more successful at. Or I would join someone who is more successful at winning seats, for example. Now, One Nation significantly gets more than any of the freedom minor parties, like at least 6% in every single state. So they're going to keep going because once you get over 4%, you get paid for your votes and you can keep running the party really well with resources. So the only thing I would say to One Nation is that, you know, your structure is completely undemocratic. There's no branches, there's no members in the branches, and the members don't have any say on who gets pre-selected and who for candidates, or they don't get any say on the state executive boards or the national executive boards. And a party like that has no future. It just doesn't. Pauline Hanson will retire eventually, and then the party will fall apart because she runs every single element of it. So I hope my dream for the freedom minor parties is that One Nation put together a democratic structure, like the Liberal Party has and the Labor Party has, for example. They have democratic structures. They can be, taken over from the inside because of the democratic structure. One Nation just doesn't have that. And some of the minor parties do, but hardly any of them do. And this is really, really important, because if members don't have a say in things, then they can't vote out people that aren't supposed to be there, and so forth and so on. So my dream is that we put pressure on One Nation to put together a democratic structure so that when Pauline Hanson retires, the party can live on without her. Because if a party only has one personality and one person making all the decisions, it just doesn't have a future. It's just as simple as that. But anyway, there's that. Moving forward though, guys, I mean, what I've been saying for a while is that the freedom community actually has enough numbers to do a lot of things. But what we have lacked in the last 5 to 6 years is strategy. And if we can all just take a step back and realize that sometimes we need to, pretend to agree, or we need to assimilate in order to get into positions where we can actually make a difference, because what we're doing hasn't worked, right? Take, for example, Moira Deeming. I mean, look at what she's been able to accomplish in the last 2 or 3 years. And guess what? When she was running as a Liberal candidate, she didn't tell anyone that she was a freedom person. She didn't tell anyone that she was a full-on freedom fighter. She got elected, and she has literally single-handedly rocked that boat harder than I've ever seen anyone rock a boat before. Now, my point is, and the Victorian election's coming up as well, and we've got council elections, and I am just so relieved that I can finally learn from these mistakes and we can look at a different path forward. And, I'm really going to put my heart and soul into a new strategy, which I can't bring out now because things are still a little bit, the Nationals and the Liberals split up, and that was all over the place. And now we've only just got the Senate results, and the Senate people aren't sitting for a few months actually, or a month or so. So I do have a new strategy, and it's basically ready to go, and I'm super excited about it. But I thought that now is a little bit too confusing to bring out a whole new strategy. People are still mending themselves after the election loss, and I think we just need a bit of a breather. But it has to be the long game from now on. There is no quick fix to save this country. It's going to take strategy and patience and resilience, and we need to face the facts that whatever we're doing isn't working, and so we need to change. So when I come up with my strategy for the future, have an open mind. Have an open mind, because I'm just learning to play the game. And I think we all need to play the game a little bit more than we have been. Turns out being on the sidelines hasn't worked for us. Although it feels better morally to align with these freedom parties, but it's just not working. And, the next 3 years, I think, are a chance for us to regroup and figure out our way forward. So that's it from me. Don't feel too hopeless. There is still hope, and I'm really excited about my idea, and I think that you'll like it, but you will find out about it in a few weeks. So talk to you soon. See ya.